An incredible story of survival in Colombia. 4 children have been found alive after 40 days deep in the Amazon rainforest. They were found on Friday after a long and intensive search. The siblings, whose ages range from 1 to 13, were traveling with their mother when their small plane crashed on May 1st. What they did to stay alive in the pristine Amazon rainforest is astonishing. At the mysterious crash site, search teams found something that defies explanation. Was someone or something else responsible for what happened? This discovery could be proof we never imagined. If you feel that spark of intrigue and passion for discovering amazing stories, subscribe to our channel. It's free and will take you on endless fascinating adventures that will transform your perception of the world. Let's begin. Number 1. The unexplained accident. 4 children have been found alive more than a month after their plane crashed in Colombia's Amazon rainforest. The siblings, aged between 1 and 13, were on board the plane with their mother and 2 pilots who died on May 1st, 2023. A small plane, a Cessna 206, crashed deep in the Colombian Amazon with 7 people on board. The plane was on a routine flight from the remote jungle community of Araraquara to the city of San Jose del Guaviare. Shortly after takeoff, the pilot reported engine failure, leading to a sudden and catastrophic descent into the dense jungle. The unforgiving terrain made the impact of the crash severe, claiming the lives of the pilot, co-pilot, and 3 adult passengers, including Magdalena Mutui Valencia, the mother of 4 young children, Leslie, 13, Selene, 9, Tien, 4, and Kristen, 1. The Cessna crashed in a remote and isolated part of the Amazon, making immediate rescue efforts extremely difficult. The plane's wreckage was hidden by the dense jungle canopy, delaying discovery of the crash site. Authorities and local indigenous communities launched a large-scale search operation involving helicopters and ground crews. The rugged terrain, dense vegetation, and constant rain complicated the search efforts. But this is when things began to take an unexpected turn. The rescue team included a dog named Wilson, and almost a month into the search found signs of life. But in the process, he disappeared into the jungle. Now there was one more rescuers had to search for, but after 39 days, they were beginning to lose hope. Number 2. Signs of life. Before disappearing, Wilson found a diaper, a baby bottle, and some half-eaten vegetables scattered throughout the jungle. Following the trail she had found, rescuers discovered something incredible. After 40 days of relentless searching, the 4 missing children from the plane crash in the Colombian Amazon were finally found alive on June 9, 2023. Search teams, which included Colombian military personnel, indigenous trackers, and local volunteers, had been combing the dense jungle since the Cessna 206 crashed. The children's discovery came as a shock, given the challenging environment in which they had been lost for over a month. Search teams had been following clues such as footprints and makeshift shelters found in various parts of the jungle, so they knew the children might be on the move. The discovery site was about 85 kilometers from the plane wreckage, far from where the crash occurred. When the children were found, they were weak and malnourished, but miraculously still alive. The youngest, Kristen, was only 1 year old. Her survival for so long in one of the world's most inhospitable environments still amazes rescuers, but that led them to the question even you might be asking. Number 3. What really happened? Officials say that since the siblings are from the Amazon, the 13-year-old girl had some knowledge of how to survive in the tropical terrain. A relative tells us they are weak, but generally well. With their mother and 2 other passengers losing their lives in the crash, the siblings were left to fend for themselves in one of the most dangerous environments in the world. Their mother held out for about 2 days before telling the children to stay away so they wouldn't have to see her end. The jungle was filled with poisonous snakes, jaguars, and relentless rains, but they managed to stay alive despite the adversities. It was later revealed that 13-year-old Leslie took on a protective maternal role over her younger siblings, guiding them through the dense jungle. They lived off what they could gather: fruits, seeds, and anything edible nature provided. Indigenous survival skills passed down by her family helped Leslie keep her siblings safe and fed. At least, that's the story the kids are sticking with. Some think this is just that, a story they want to tell the world because the truth would be too much for the average person to understand. There's a possibility that they weren't alone, but were abducted by otherworldly beings who kept them alive and fed, and that's why authorities couldn't find them for over a month. According to this theory, Wilson traded his life for theirs, and the children were sworn to secrecy, so the truth would never come out about what really happened in the jungle. But even those who come up with this aren't really believed. Number 4. The Varginha Incident. The Varginha Incident is one of Brazil's most famous UFO cases, which took place in the city of Varginha in 1996. On January 20th, local residents reported sightings of strange, unidentified creatures and a UFO crash. Witnesses, including witness Sarah DeLeet, recounted a strange encounter while hiking with her family on the Brazilian island of Ilha Bela. She described seeing mysterious, enormous figures standing on a distant hill. Despite her efforts, it was impossible to reach or communicate with the beings. According to Sarah, these figures moved with incredible speed and appeared to be approximately 3 meters tall. Although this may seem a little hard to believe, they believe it with all their hearts. Number 5. Green Fireball. The green fireball phenomenon was first observed in the late 1940s over New Mexico, near key U.S. military sites. Witnesses described bright green objects streaking across the sky, unlike typical meteors due to their distinctive color, flat trajectories, and the frequency with which they were seen. These sightings occurred during a period when interest in UFOs was at its peak, leading many to speculate that the green fireballs were extraterrestrial spacecraft. Some believe they were reconnaissance vehicles from alien civilizations, perhaps investigating military activities on Earth. The U.S. government took the sightings seriously, launching investigations that included a study by the Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory. Despite the extensive research, no definitive conclusions were reached. Explanations ranged from secret military tests to natural celestial events, but none fully satisfied public curiosity. Green fireballs remain a compelling mystery, with many UFO enthusiasts convinced they are linked to alien visitors. Even today, reports of bright green objects in the sky fuel debate about their origin. Are they a rare natural phenomenon or evidence of something far more extraordinary? Speaking of which, they're not the only unexplained object people believe has an alien origin. Number 6. Skinwalkers. Throughout history, strange things have been happening at Skinwalker Ranch. In one such incident, researchers launched rockets and used a flamethrower to investigate a specific area of the ranch known as the Triangle. High-speed cameras captured something unusual. A force seemed to redirect both the rockets and the flames, creating unexplained separations and voids in the fire's path. In the flamethrower experiment, the flames split at around 30 feet, 9 meters, indicating the presence of an unseen force. High-resolution thermal imaging also revealed strange figures or objects near the flames that appeared to move quickly and disappear at close range. The phenomenon was repeated with other experiments, leaving experts unable to understand what was happening. The recurrence of the phenomenon at the 40-foot level suggested that something physical was interfering with the rockets and the fire. Some speculate it could be a portal or an unknown entity potentially linked to the UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, frequently observed at the ranch. And well, others don't really have a theory. This is something we're seeing with our own eyes, so can you really rule it out? Number 7. Yossi Ginsburg and the Amazon. In 1981, Yossi Ginsburg, an Israeli adventurer, ventured into the uncharted Bolivian Amazon with 3 companions: Marcus Stam, Kevin Gale, and Karl Ruchprechter. What began as an exciting exploration quickly turned into a nightmare. The group was led by Karl, who claimed to know the jungle well, but they soon found themselves in dangerous and unfamiliar territory. After disagreements over their route, the group split up, with Ginsberg and Gale opting to build a raft and travel downriver. Disaster struck when the raft was swept away by a swift current, separating the two men. For the next 3 weeks, Ginsberg was completely alone in the unforgiving jungle, without food or proper survival gear, facing poisonous snakes, relentless insects, and the overwhelming isolation of the Amazon. Ginsberg managed to survive despite near starvation, injuries, and hallucinations. Meanwhile, Gale managed to escape the jungle and organized a search party. Against all odds, after 19 days lost, Ginsberg was found and rescued by local villagers and authorities. However, the time he spent alone is something even he can't fully explain. This has led people to wonder whether he was truly alone or if he had some help from otherworldly aids. Number 8. Miracle in the Andes. The Miracle in the Andes is the incredible story of survival of a Uruguayan rugby team and their companions after their plane crashed in the Andes Mountains on October 13, 1972. The plane, carrying 45 people, crashed in a remote high-altitude area in the Argentine Andes. The survivors were stranded in extreme cold, with limited food, no proper clothing, and no means of communication. For 72 days, the survivors battled frostbite, avalanches, and the harsh mountain conditions. At the time, they knew that if they stayed where they were, they would perish on that mountain, and if they tried to leave, the same would happen. So they decided to take a risk. 2 men, Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa, embarked on an extremely difficult 10-day trek through the mountains to find help. In what could have been a miracle, they came across a Chilean shepherd who alerted the authorities. On December 20, 1972, the remaining 16 survivors were rescued. But when asked how they survived all that time, they initially chose to remain silent, saying they wouldn't answer that question. When they finally spoke, they said they had to eat the remains of their loved ones, the people they crashed with, to stay alive. Some people believe that explanation, while others think the reason they took so long to answer that question was because they were trying to come up with such a crazy answer that no one would ask them a follow-up question. Number 9. The Allagash Abductions. The Allagash Abductions are a case of alleged alien abduction that took place in the summer of 1976 in Allagash, Maine. 4 friends, Jim Weiner, Jack Weiner, Charlie Foltz, and Bill Owen, were camping when they reported a strange experience that would haunt them for decades. While on a canoe trip, the men noticed a bright light in the sky. Curious, they paddled toward it, but the light suddenly disappeared. Later, they experienced a blackout and found themselves in a totally different place. When they awoke, they discovered they had lost approximately 2 hours of time, with no recollection of what had happened during that period. Years later, the friends underwent hypnosis to uncover repressed memories. Under hypnosis, they recounted vivid details of being abducted and examined by extraterrestrial beings. They described a sterile environment, strange instruments, and examinations performed by the beings. They all had the same story, but the media never believed them. Number 10. The Marfa Lights. The Marfa Lights are a mysterious phenomenon seen near Marfa, Texas, known for their unexplained appearances in the night sky. These lights have been reported for over a century, often described as glowing orbs that flicker, change color, and move erratically across the horizon. The phenomenon typically occurs in a desert area called the Marfa Plateau, attracting visitors and UFO enthusiasts hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive lights. Theories about their origin vary widely. Some think they are caused by natural atmospheric conditions, such as temperature inversions or gases released from the Earth. Others believe they may be linked to vehicle lights on a nearby highway, though many witnesses insist the lights appear in remote areas where no roads exist. Despite all the investigations, the true nature of the Marfa Lights remains unsolved. Number 11. The Kecksburg UFO Incident. The Kecksburg UFO incident occurred on December 9, 1965, in the small town of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Witnesses reported seeing a fireball streaking across the sky, which some described as resembling a large acorn with strange markings. The object crashed in a wooded area near the town. As news spread, large numbers of people flocked to the scene, eager to see the downed object. The military quickly arrived, cordoning off the area and restricting access. Witnesses claimed to have seen the object, describing it as metallic and with unusual symbols etched on its surface. However, details surrounding the object's recovery and what actually happened at the crash site remain a secret. The U.S. military later stated that the object was likely a meteor or a re-entering satellite, but many locals and UFO enthusiasts believe the government covered up the incident. To this day, the area where the UFO landed remains clear of vegetation. You can see where the object cut through the trees, and from above, everything still looks as if the UFO had just crashed there. However, authorities still refuse to admit that anything crazy happened here and want to dismiss it all. Number 12. The Phoenix Lights Incident. On March 13, 1997, in Arizona, thousands of witnesses, including residents and military personnel, reported seeing a massive V-shaped formation of lights moving silently across the night sky. The lights, which appeared to be part of a single object, were described as round and orange-yellow in color and stretched for several kilometers in length. The incident began at night, when a series of lights were sighted over the city of Phoenix and later in nearby cities such as Tempe and Scottsdale. Witnesses recounted how the lights moved in a coordinated manner, creating the sensation of a large craft hovering above them. Many observers reported feeling a mixture of awe and fear, and some believed they were witnessing an alien craft. Number 13. The Roswell Incident. The Roswell Incident, which took place in July 1947, is one of the most famous events in UFO history and has fueled countless conspiracy theories over the decades. The incident began when a rancher named Mac Brazel discovered unusual debris scattered across his property near Roswell, New Mexico. Initially, the military issued a press release claiming they had recovered a flying disc, leading to widespread speculation about extraterrestrial life, something we can't even imagine they would do today. However, the U.S. military quickly retracted this statement, claiming the debris actually came from a downed weather balloon from a classified project known as Project Mogul, which was intended to detect Soviet nuclear tests. This retraction left everyone wondering about what had really happened, leading many to believe the government was covering up evidence of alien contact. In the following years, numerous witnesses, including former military personnel, claimed to have seen alien bodies and unexplained craft at the site. However, the authorities never confirmed any of this. Number 14. Mothman's Sighting. The Mothman sighting was a series of mysterious encounters reported in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, from 1966 to 1967. The most notable sighting occurred on November 15, 1966, when two couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving near an old TNT factory when they claimed to see a large winged creature with glowing red eyes. They described it as being approximately 1.8 to 2.1 meters tall, with a wingspan of about 3 meters. The group reported that the creature followed their car as they sped away. In the following weeks, more sightings emerged, leading locals to speculate about the creature's nature. Some believed it was an alien or a harbinger of doom, while others suggested it could be a large bird, such as a sandhill crane. The Mothman phenomenon gained further notoriety after the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15, 1967, which claimed the lives of 46 people. This event led many to associate Mothman sightings with impending disasters, giving rise to local legends and folklore. Since then, the Mothman has become a symbol of mystery, inspiring books, films, and an annual festival dedicated to him in Point Pleasant. Number 15. Encounter with the Flatwoods Monster. On September 12, 1952, a group of children in Flatwoods, West Virginia, witnessed a bright light streaking across the sky and decided to investigate its landing site. The children, led by 17-year-old Edward May, headed to the spot on a nearby hill where they discovered a strange metallic object glowing in the darkness. As they approached, they encountered a strange creature described as approximately 3 meters tall, with a round head, glowing eyes, and a green metallic body. The creature appeared to be wearing a dark robe. They said they were frightened, and some even experienced nausea from a mysterious fog surrounding the creature. The children quickly retreated, terrified by the sighting. News of the encounter spread quickly, but despite several investigations, physical evidence of the creature or object was never found, unless it was there all along, camouflaged in plain sight. Number 16. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. On February 1, 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers led by Igor Dyatlov began their expedition in the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. They aimed to reach Mount Ortoten, but the group never returned. Search parties were dispatched, and on February 26th, their tent was discovered, visibly ripped from the inside. It took 3 weeks before authorities began finding their remains scattered across the snowy landscape, with some exhibiting strange injuries. Notably, 2 of the hikers were missing eyes, and 1 was found without a tongue. Other bodies showed signs of severe trauma, including fractures similar to those sustained in car accidents, although there were no external injuries. These injuries are not normal, nor was their disappearance. The only explanation is that something external attacked them, and they didn't survive the ordeal. Authorities did not even attempt to explain this case, and to this day, it remains unsolved. Number 17. The Case of James McGrogan. On June 19, 1986, James McGrogan, a 33-year-old experienced hiker, mysteriously disappeared in Colorado's San Juan Mountains while camping with friends. McGrogan had gone out for a solo hike, and when he didn't return by nightfall, his friends reported him missing. Despite extensive search efforts involving local authorities and volunteer teams, no trace of him was found in the rugged terrain. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance grew even stranger as the search continued. Witnesses reported seeing strange lights in the sky the night of McGrogan's disappearance, leading to speculation about possible extraterrestrial involvement. Additionally, during the search, some searchers claimed to have experienced unusual sensations and a feeling of being watched, but they could not see anyone watching them. Despite the exhaustive search, James McGrogan remained missing for nearly a month until a hiker discovered his remains about 18 miles, 29 kilometers, from where he was last seen. But even then, they couldn't figure out how he died or what caused him to end up that way. Number 18. The Bennington Triangle Disappearances. The Bennington Triangle, a region in southwestern Vermont, became particularly popular in the late 1940s and early 1950s for a series of mysterious disappearances. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 people vanished without a trace, including hikers and locals. One of the most well-known cases is that of 74-year-old Mitty Rivers, who disappeared while leading a group in 1950, and Paula Weldon, a college student who vanished while hiking the Long Trail in 1946. There was no reason for these people to simply vanish into thin air, but they did, and no one has been able to provide a logical explanation as to why. Number 19. Malaysia Airlines. Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines, Flight MH370 disappeared en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, carrying 239 passengers and crew. After losing contact with air traffic control, the plane's last known position was over the southern Indian Ocean. Despite extensive search efforts, only some scattered debris was found, which people don't believe was from the plane. Nothing else has been found, nor has it even been rumored to have been found. Some theorists say that extraterrestrial beings could have abducted the plane and its passengers, which would explain why neither the people nor the plane were ever found, but authorities say otherwise. They say it simply vanished and is probably in such bad condition that we'll never find it. We've reached the end of the video. Do you think all these cases could be explained in some way and we're just not seeing it? Or have we closed our eyes on purpose? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more fascinating and exciting content. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.